I think we're at a really pivotal point in the industry at the moment where we're seeing the staff shortages, the lack of staff, so to speak, but then the innovation of the robotic machinery, for example, to sort of come in and fill those gaps. But there still is a gap in sense of people still need to look after and maintain and program and set up this machine. So I think with that, that's probably going to be the biggest movement at the moment, and we're right on the pinnacle of that. We're seeing a lot of the new machines coming about, uh, and they're doing a really good job as well. Not just in a case of just looking after rough areas. We're seeing machines now being used on some sports fields, golf courses, and it's helping with that staffing demand. And we're still going to look at seasonal staff and part-time staff and those sort of things, but I think we are moving to a better place. It's just we are at the start of that at the moment. Now is a great opportunity to get people into the industry through, careers fairs and, young people into the industry, not just through an apprenticeship front as well. I know people and I've worked with people that have joined the industry, as we always say, by chance, but from being seasonal ground staff or just knowing someone that worked at a golf course, and the parents put them in contact and then they ended up working on the greens. They might have wanted to be golfers, for example. I know people like that has been their background, that has been their aim. They want to be a professional golfer, but the next best thing, so to speak, is maintaining the courses. And the same happens in football. How many ground staff do we know that wanted to pursue a career in sports of some sort and then ended up maintaining the pitches? Cricket's similar. You have to have that interest to be able to maintain the pitches. So it's sort of, that's how it works hand in hand. And it's a fantastic time and opportunity to go and seek out, part-time staff and new younger people as well. And it doesn't have to necessarily just be younger people. There's ex-services, there's people further into their careers as well that might want to change, and now is a fantastic time to come into the industry. So the part-time staff do play a really pivotal role in, the preparation of courses and sports facilities, not just in terms of lowering the pressures, obviously, on the existing teams, but also improving the quality sometimes, because it's a double-edged sword. You're bringing in people that might have experience from elsewhere, so they're bringing that with them, but also, it's an opportunity to possibly up the standards one level, because you've got those extra hours to maintain surfaces with, those extra practices, or, maybe even more sprays or whatever processes you're doing. You've got more of that available, that resource. So you're able to, improve the facility and also improve your staffing skills as well, because that can also be shared around as well. But with that, as we say, it helps reduce the pressure on the heads and the superintendents to know that there's not as much work they necessarily need to do, and they can do their job more efficiently, and lower the mental health stresses, the stresses on the course, and ultimately hopefully have a happier work-life balance. I think ultimately there's two main things which are impacting sort of staff turnover. Obviously, one is the big conversation, and it will continue to keep happening, is salaries. And working hours is another big part of that. It's obviously quite an unsociable time to be at work, but without targeting them right from the back, we're always going to struggle. But there's always ways and means, and I've spoken about it before. Free golf, lunches, accommodation. Maybe they help make people's lives a little bit better, and sometimes it's those match day tickets or something like that help put a smile on someone's face and have them more involved in a club or a facility, and make them want to be there more. And then off the back of that, the retention obviously is always going to be a little bit higher as well.